Action.
Welcome to the show. How you doing? How you doing?
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Nomad Golf and Smoke Easy. What pairs well with golf? Cigars.
I like that. That's a nice touch. The music, the ambiance, it really gets them going.
Trying to feel the feng shui. It's Japanese.
Uh,
It's tying all this in together. Um, this is episode part two. That's French.
I'm not a learned man.
So we're going to talk about once again what goes well with a wonderful round of golf, a bad round of golf, a mediocre round of golf, or average round of golf. Is a good cigar, a good stogie. Uh, Myself, I've been smoking stogies for the better part of 2.5 decades now, and well, I'm still learning. I am still learning. I started out the guy that wanted the Maduro with the torpedo tip for some reason, and then it took eons for me to figure out that hey, maybe those particular cigars are a bit strong for me to be smoking while I'm playing golf. I don't like the feeling of my face getting numb in the middle of my backswing.
We do forget about that from time to time. That not every cigar is of the same strength.
It is not. It is not. I'm learning that. I've picked up on a lot of things in the last, I'd say 6 months to a year in reference to smoking, how to smoke. This whole retro smoking is something that was totally new to me, and that I've learned that is not for everyone. It is not for the novice, and apparently I'm still a novice because I don't taste what everyone else tastes. I don't taste the leathery, the oats, the fruits. I'm not tasting that when I smoke.
I've always thought people were lying when they talk about that. They're like, this is like a roast finish, or this is I can taste like the elderberries and this. I don't taste it.
No,
I don't taste it unless you're infusing it with whiskey or maybe a nice pairing of shine.
right? Or a cognac would be good. Can't go wrong with that.
Everybody likes a little cognac, huh? That's the proper pronunciation.
That is. That's American. Because
Okay.
we're in America.
Well, like they say, these colors don't run.
That's right. We use our consonants and our vowels in unison. But I digress. The choice that I've grown really fond of as far as a particular cigar, like my go-to, is the Carlos Toronto Exodus with the silver band. For some reason, that is, I don't know why it is, but that has always been my go-to cigar. Maybe because it's such a nice price point, but it's a really well put together cigar. It never disappoints. It gives me everything I ask for. But once again, I don't ask for much from my cigars. I don't. I don't have a very sophisticated palate. I don't fancy myself an aficionado. I like what I like.
Sound like 2 Chainz a little bit.
Right, but I got more than a few on.
Well, see, I'm a little newer to this,
True.
but I've always gone for either the Maduro, any kind of Maduros. Right now, I'm partial to the Habano Maduro, preferably hand rolled. But if I'm going out there to pick out something, my usual go-to is what's that Deadwood Leather Rose. It's great for beginners.
It's a little sweet.
It is very sweet, and I think that's part of the reason why it's very good for beginners, because you're gonna get that smoke that a lot of people are gonna want, and the best thing that a lot of these newer beginner cigar smokers like myself need to know is you're not inhaling the smoke.
True.
You're puffing on it and exhaling. But with the wrap with the Deadwood Leather Rose, because it's so sweet, it's more enticing for me.
Right. Well,
It's like when you're growing up, when you first start to have your first drink, you're not gonna go straight for the gin. No.
no.
You're gonna go get something a little fruity with a little umbrella in it.
Right, that is true. But the thing is, now if you got that sugar, you can't really smoke that dead wood. So see, there's certain
I
things.
forgot you got that sugar.
Yeah, I got to stay away from. So, and I'm not a big fan of the sweet, but although that is a good one, that's a good one. But it kind of goes back to when you're starting drinking alcohol, you want to mix something with it to bite that strong feeling. I've always gone straight out the bottle. I mean, I figure if they wanted to mix it, they would have mixed it before they put it in the bottle.
They make a mix now. I think I blame my generation personally.
I am not going to disagree with you. You won't get a fight from me. You preach to the choir. But I mean, there's some good ones out there. But when it comes to cigars, I just think it's like the golf swing. You play your swing. There's no perfect swing from one human being that plays golf. You play your swing and what works for you. Same goes for a cigar. Like you hear all the rage, everybody's looking at the cohibas. Is this a real cohiba? Did this come from Cuba and all this? Doesn't matter. Is it a good cigar? Do you like it? That's what it boils down to. Do you like it or do you dislike it? And then you figure out what works for you. And you go with the cigar that works for you. I mean, I smoked $30, $40 cigars and I smoked $5, $6, $7 cigars. And to be honest with you, some of those $5, $6, $7 cigars work for me better than a $30 or $40 cigar. Because that's just where I am.
But like you said, you've been doing this for a couple of decades now.
That's a long time.
When I got started, smoking cigars, I smoked a few in the Marine Corps, but that wasn't didn't really know what I was doing back then.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, you know what? I didn't do it for free. But I remember I came to visit you once, and you showed me how to smoke a cigar, and you showed me how to dip it in the whiskey. I don't know if that's an actual technique or
just a little something I learned along the way.
It was great. And I remember somebody had to help me walk to my car afterwards.
Yeah, I mean,
it took me out. It took me out.
It's my job. It's my job to try to show you things that someone showed me. Pay it forward. It's what I do. I mean, I'm a giver. Some people call me a hero, but I wouldn't. I put my pants on 2 legs at a time like everybody else. I mean, I'm no different than Superman. But all I would say is that if you're not smoking cigars, you should. Now, they say, oh, well, there's the cancer thing. It's bad for your health. George Burns lived to be, 104, 105? He smoked 10 to 12 cigars a day.
It's like that. There was an old, great Southern saying, I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time.
Absolutely.
I live by that motto every single day.
That's right.
Now, I noticed you got your humidor out here.
I've got it open. I've got some of the goodies in here. I mean, you guys can't see it, but there's a smorgasbord of different types of cigars. Because once again, like I said, I'm all over the place. I've got the Plasencia, then I got the Perdomo Habano, I got Olivia, I got Partagas, got some Rocky Patels. I mean, some of them I like, some of them I don't. I just come across certain cigars if they, like there's a little spot down the street on Fridays, they have happy hour. Happy hour, they do a BOGO. And sometimes the BOGO is on specific brands, and then sometimes the BOGO is on the entire store. So it just depends.
Go out there and get those deals.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm an economic smoker as well. So I try different stuff. I'm not afraid to see what I like and what I don't like. The problem is now I'm getting old, I can't remember which ones I like a lot. I need to start writing those things down. Keeping a log, if you will, to remind myself. The one that I said I always go to is always the Carlos Torano. I can't go wrong with that because that fits me.
Like I said, I've always just been partial to the Habano Maduros. I think after that, I just recently found the what was it called? The Man of War?
Yeah, good cigar, good smoke.
Very smooth.
Right.
I mean, it gets a little harsher towards the end, but very smooth most of the way.
Right. You can't go wrong with that. I mean, Olivia, that's a good one.
I do like Olivia.
Perdomo.
Perdomo makes.
Yeah, I can't wait for the 30 year to come out. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to that one.
It's probably a couple more weeks on that one, huh?
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully, if we can get our hands on some. But then, not only am I a fan of the cigars, but I'm also a fan of the cigar lounge.
Oof.
And different lounges have a different vibe. I'm more partial to the laid back, somewhat barbershop kind of vibe, where you can go in. You got, because all of them got the same thing. They got the big brown leather chairs. They're all comfortable, but then some of them they're a little loud. I mean, they're not as relaxing, if you will. Some of them are turned into clubs. Music is a little too loud. You got to yell at one another to try to talk. It's a totally different climate and atmosphere. One of my favorite little smokeasies right now to go to. I haven't been there in about a month or so, but it's down in Paris, Texas. Rigby's Cigar down there on the square in Paris. That's probably one of my top 2 cigar lounges to attend. I mean, the owners there are very nice, very warm, welcoming. You can always get a good conversation, because I'm a fan of that. I like a good conversation, and it never disappoints there. When I go there, I'm always going to have a good conversation with somebody who I have no clue who they are starting out. But by the end, we're sitting there talking like we've been knowing each other for years.
Well, you very well could have. You know, that's a great way to make friends, is these cigar lounges. Now, for these cigar lounges, do you prefer the ones that serve alcohol versus not serving alcohol? Does that help loosen people up for these conversations?
For me, it doesn't matter, because I don't really drink that much.
Okay.
I don't drink that much. So I mean, I normally will order a whiskey or a bourbon with my cigar, but I normally never finish it. So for me, it doesn't matter. I've been to spots where it's BYOB, and I've been to spots where they provide their own bar and all that good stuff. Now, the thing is about people who normally smoke cigars, it's a much more mature crowd. So you're not gonna have to worry about people in there double fisting drinks and all that stuff and acting all wild and crazy. So it's just a compliment to the cigar, because the cigar is still the main focus or whatever. That's just a compliment to the cigar. So normally when people come in there, they're not coming in there to drink. They're coming in there for the cigars.
Okay.
Right.
But you know, we always have you know, things that pair nice together.
Right.
I guess that'll be in our next segment.
Right. Well, I don't think people want to hear what I think pairs nice, because once again,
well, see, this is the
my
No
thought
Bag
process
Golf
is different.
podcast. You are the logo. You know.
I am the logo.
You're the founder.
I am.
So we obviously care about what you think, because we're tuning into this.
Well, they're not going to care about what I want to pair with the cigar, though. 'Cause you don't want to listen to me on that, because I don't really have that thought process of pairing. I always go with the same thing, Bullet Rye.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I keep it simple. I go with Bullet Rye. I don't care what kind of cigar it is I'm getting. It's always going to be a Bullet Rye. But what I would suggest to anyone that's new to this whole smoking thing, because like I said, I've been doing it for over 2 decades, and I still consider myself new, because I'm still learning new stuff. When I go to different cigar lounges, I pick up on things from talking to people. I mean, from the simple fact of this whole retro smoking thing, man, if you start doing that, that really intensifies your smoking experience. You can really taste the different notes and the flavors in the cigar. But at the same time, if you're not used to it, it's going to be an eye-opening experience starting out. Because when you inhale through your mouth and exhale through your nose, you got to pace yourself, because it opens up those odes and it kind of burns the nostrils a little bit until you get used to it. But eventually you'll start tasting what these other people are tasting and what you're seeing in some of these magazines.
Okay,
and things of that nature.
So I need to push through this.
Yeah, you gotta
stop
push
being
through.
little.
Yeah, the best things are always on the other side of fear. So, you know, you got to push through that pain point to get to the good stuff.
Okay.
You can't make an omelet unless you break a couple of eggs.
You know, I feel like we could use that saying for a few things.
Yeah, that's just a life lesson. Write that down.
Oh, you know what? I got you.
Write that down.
I ain't got no paper on me right now, but
it's a life.
it's up.
No pen, no paper.
It's all up here. You know, I was a
around
kid.
here. You walking around here penniless.
It's all up here. You know, I've been told.
It's in the cloud.
I have a photographic memory. I mean, don't quote me on that.
Okay, I'll ask you next week. But yeah, so I think people should just try different cigars. I mean, and then go have those conversations with people. I think that's the best thing. I think that's the coolest thing for me. That's why I think it pairs so well with golf. Because like with golf, if you play 18 holes, you're out there with somebody anywhere. Well, depends on what course you're playing. It could be 4 hours or 5.5 hours that you're spending with people you know or you may not know. So eventually you're going to have conversations, right? And that's basically what cigar lounges are for. Is basically golf without golf and a cigar, and you're having conversations. You're getting to know people. And I think from a big picture, if you look at it from that standpoint, I think more people need to have more conversations with people who wouldn't normally travel in the same circles and the same backgrounds that you would normally find. You get outside your bubble.
It's very eye-opening. You'd be amazed, you know, what the kind of knowledge a lot of these people have or don't have.
True.
I remember you taking me to, there had to be one out there in Rockwall, and I sat and talked with somebody for a good 30 minutes about life issues. And the guy had the same issues when he was around my age. And he was like, oh yeah, you want to do this, this, and that. And I was like, I've never opened up to somebody. It was therapeutic.
Yeah.
I would go as far as say it was therapeutic.
Everybody needs somebody to talk to. And normally it's better to talk to somebody you really don't know because you may not ever see them again.
Exactly.
But then if you do, by chance run into them again, they'll remember you.
That's a lifelong friend at
exactly.
that point.
They'll remember you because it was good conversation. So when you think about it from that standpoint, if you're having a cigar in a cigar lounge, cigar may not be that great, but if you have good conversation, that will enhance the experience of the cigar smoke.
I think I'm still there learning from you.
Take that with you.
I'll write that down too.
I'm dropping jewels right now.
Uncut gems.
I am a jewelry consultant. I'm giving you jewels right now. So for you people out there in media land, hey, write that down, snap it up, use it 3 times, it's yours. You don't even have to give me a footnote on it.
Now, you said Rigby's is in your top 2 all time.
All time.
What's your other one?
The one we discussed in Rockwall, El Dorado.
Oof.
They're 1A and 1B, basically. So, I mean, they're right there together as far as it. I mean, I'll probably still lean towards Rigby because that's in the hometown. But El Dorado, then Rockwall, I mean, it's a short drive or whatever. The people are extremely nice there. I mean, it's larger. You got more rooms. The selection, Rigsby's selection is getting much better. I mean, they're much improved. But I mean, they're new too. I mean, El Dorado's been around longer. I mean, Rigby's been around, I don't even know if it's been a year yet. I'm not sure if as far as being in that building. But yeah, I mean, El Dorado, same thing. The ambiance, the atmosphere, the people, the conversations. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Cigars and conversations. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And there, it's just much more relaxed. And now on the totally opposite end of the spectrum, you have Cigar International out there in the colony. Totally different beast. Totally different beast.
That is an understatement.
Right. I mean, that's more of a club scene if you go on a Friday evening or a Saturday evening. Now, normally I would go to these places during business hours, you know, like on a Tuesday, Wednesday around 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Early bird special?
Yeah, it's not that many people there. You may be able to pop open the laptop, get a little work done, something along those lines. So it's not that big. But I accidentally fell in there on a Friday night, and well, it was a totally different crowd. Something I wasn't expecting. The ambiance was totally different. It was like a club. Cool though. I mean, cool for a cigar scene, but it was just something different, what I wasn't expecting. And it's one of those deals where, I mean, when you got the music playing, it's playing relatively loud, you can't really have those conversations. But it's a different scene, and it serves its purpose too. And I enjoy it. I enjoy going out there on a Friday if you want to let loose a little bit and see different stuff, because there's some different stuff you can see. But it's still, but now as far as the humidor goes, they have probably the largest humidor and a lot of different options out there. And the cool thing with them though, like most cigar lounges, you have to purchase, which is understandable. You have to purchase your cigars there and smoke the cigars that you purchase from that particular cigar lounge. Now, Cigar International, you can bring your own cigars. So they may or may not make any money off the humidor. They're making most of their money off the bar, is where they're making their money. But a lot of these smaller mom and pops, obviously, they're going to be making money off of the cigars. So when you go that, you understand that. So, I mean, and it's cool because, I mean, they do have a pretty good selection at Rigby's and at El Dorado. And like I said, I like to try different cigars, and I'll take their recommendations and then try to give them some feedback on that.
They are really good about giving recommendations. Every time I've gone in there, I always tell them, I'm new to this.
Right.
I'm not true to this yet. I'm just new to this.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll be like, oh, well, what do you like? And I was like, well, I prefer something stronger. And I think it was both them and yourself that told me, the darker the tobacco wrap around it, the stronger it usually is. Now, it varies from cigar to cigar, but they were always very helpful when it came to that. And they would tell me, hey, these are our top picks, or this is the pick of the month.
True.
Yeah, I think that's how I found Perdomo the first time.
Yeah, they're very helpful. I mean, like I said, you can't go wrong with Rigby's or El Dorado. I just kind of lean more towards Rigby's because that's the hometown, and they're very, very friendly, very nice there. El Dorado, same thing. I mean, they're very nice there. So International, they're very nice there. It's just a totally different scene, though.
Yeah, come the weekend.
Yeah, it's a totally different scene. Yeah, during the week, during the daytime, similar scene or whatever to those two, but on the evening shift on Friday and Saturday, it's a different scene, as it should be. I guess people are unwinding a little harder than during the week, because you got the monotony of catching up with everything to you during the week. But but if you don't take anything else from this, hey, variety is the spice of life. So go out there, smoke your cigar, find what you like, find what you don't like is even more important.
Find a new friend.
But have those conversations. Cigars, cigar lounges is about conversation. Enjoy your time. The Nomad Golf Podcast and Smoke Easy. That's a wrap.